Ah, yes, the vampire. Moebius told me you would come.
Hey folks, Keric here and welcome back to Blood Omen. We're just about to jump straight into a fight with... Oh god, that hurt.
The Heart of Darkness.
Straight into a fight with... well, William the Just or the Nemesis, however you want to see it. As you can tell, Moebius has also given him the Soul Reaver. That fight will be important later in the series. I don't do spectacularly well at this fight, unfortunately. Realistically, we should be coming into this with a full set of mana. And basically the idea is to use the shield to stop him from actually hitting you and hammering the life out of him with the Soul Reaver.
Wraith armor. The Soul Reaver.
Just be aware, I was kind of dicking around here really. The Soul Reaver itself, if your mana bar is empty, does about as much damage as the original Iron Sword. So it's kind of pointless. You need mana to be able to use it properly. Unfortunately, I haven't quite twigged onto it at this point. And he does shitloads of damage.
The Heart of Darkness.
Because obviously he's not constrained by such mundane facts as mana bars and nonsense like that.
The Heart of Darkness.
So this may be a bit of a long fight, unfortunately. So basically, to recap on the story, Moebius has gone back in time and sent Kain back and convinced William the Just, the original timeline's leader of this area, that Kain is an assassin sent back to kill him. That results in a change in the timeline which pretty much brings about the future that we know of, where William the Just is the Nemesis. So yeah, as we'll find out more of, well, Moebius is a tricksy little bastard.
The Heart of Darkness.
I'm just using so many of those bloody
The Heart
things.
Of Darkness.
Which realistically, if you've got a lot of those energy banks,
Heart of
these
Darkness.
fights are pretty easy. You keep using them, keep your shield up, and then just hammer the shit out of them with Soul Reaver. Unfortunately, I'm completely and utterly out of them now.
Reaver.
So I decided to go back and try some Flame Sword instead. At least it's not going to keep draining my mana. So yeah, I think I had about 25 of those bloody hearts and I'm now down to 8. Things are not going so good. I don't know why I didn't just kind of twig I could use the shield there as well. I had the flipping cursor over it. I think I'm trying to keep that last energy bank. I like the way it kind of goes outside the wall and hits whatever the hell it is outside. Let's hit him with a few of these as well. Whatever it was outside that wall is now dead. But we can't say the same thing for this bugger. Oh well, you may as well have the last one. You've had them all. See if we can do some damage with anything else. Those really don't seem to be doing a lot to him either. So I think it might be the case that we need to go back to the main weapon.
The Soul Reaver.
I'm not sure actually whether you need to kill him with Soul Reaver or not.
Flesh armor.
Just try going to flesh armor in case my mana has been depleted by him hitting me. He just completely and utterly owns me with this bloody sword. Someone's gonna die.
Chaos armor.
I'm gonna have to use a few more of these hearts as well. Not that I really want to because shit, we've really got none left, but I'm gonna have to. Alright, now. Energy bank. Let's put the shield up like I should have done in the first place. And then we should be able to just wheel into him a little bit. At this point, since I'd actually used the sodding energy bank, I should have just switched over to the Reaver. Because I've just done a hell of a lot of damage. Try and get the third shield up before that runs out. Pick up the Reaver again. See if I can do a last couple of sweeps on him before that shield runs out. And finally, he goes down.
As his guards rushed to save him, William the Just's blood was already renewing my strength, replacing the life his sword had stolen from my veins. The poor fools, come to aid their fallen leader. Let us have some amusement.
He doesn't have enough bloody blood in his entire body to replace the amount of life we've just lost Kain. Certainly not.
Spiked mace.
Yeah, really made a meal out of that, unfortunately. As you can tell, the sword is also broken. That'll pop up later in the games too.
A time streaming device. Strange. When coincidence seems too convenient, I prefer to call it fate.
So yeah, yet another time streaming device. And using it again, we'll move forward in time again, back to our, well, original timeline.
With William the Just dead, Moebius's plans have been thwarted. His pawn was removed from the game.
Kain thinking that William's death would stop the Nemesis in the future. Back to the map room. Let's try and make our way out of the castle without taking too much damage. I don't want to be involved in a huge big fight. Fat guy in a thong. It's also worth noticing that all of the armies of the Nemesis are appearing as ghosts. And switch back to the original armor. I'm not sure we really want to have Soul Reaver equipped, but hey, might as well have some fun. That's what it's actually supposed to do whenever it's properly bloody charged. But as you can tell by the state of my mana bar on the right now, it just uses up a phenomenal amount. Which is pretty much why we need to have an energy bank. Otherwise it's just kind of ridiculous. I do like slicing them up, you know. So much fun. Also worth noting that these aren't soldiers. Oh, quite a few Heart of Darkness down there. I'm not sure if we'll be able to reach them, but hey. I did go up here trying to find a way down to get those, but I think I'm being a bit stupid. Considering the fact I've just walked down here and there's no offshoots to this main corridor. It wasn't the cleverest idea I've ever had. And my mana's gone again. But as you can tell, once your mana's gone, the sword really does next to no damage. It will eventually kill them, but it just takes so long that it's not worth it. I obviously missed that switch first time round. Still, at least we did actually manage to find a way here. Those will come in handy, considering the amount we used in the last bloody battle. Oh god, so many of these little shits. No, just not gonna work. Without mana, really, this sword is worse than useless. A doorstop of epic proportions. And they're gonna end up cornering me, aren't they? Try and squeeze my way through most of them. Come on, you bastard, die! Bloody shitty sword.
Flesh armor.
Right, I'm gonna have to give on. Really, using that sword is absolutely pointless. Give me your mana now. Little creep. Yeah, and fat boy, feed me. Alright, and finally out we go. Give ourselves a little bit of a top up. I'm not entirely sure that... Oh, fucking hell. I got pinballed. What are you? Some kind of grey ninja. And I think this might be the room I was thinking of. As you'll notice on the southern wall there on the left hand side of the screen there is actually a break, which we'll want to go into. Just approach it from the other angle. Take down the inhabitants. And make our way back around again. God, there's so many of them. No, obviously that wasn't the bloody room I was thinking about at all. Could have sworn there was a treasure room around here. It's like a single room with quite a lot of items in it. In all fairness, there probably is. Chances are I just haven't bloody stumbled across it on this walkthrough. Right, I need to open that door. There was an unpressed... Oh, fuck's sakes. Bloody ice. There was an unpressed switch in the centre. Get rid of him. No, that one's pressed. That's it. Into the middle. There we go. And the reason the wall's broken down is because it lets you out. Yeah, I know. Comprehension dawns. So there we go. Oh shit, missed him. Gate at the bottom is finally open, and we can make our way further south. Hopefully eventually get out of this bloody stronghold. There's now a nice big spike pit and a locked door waiting for us. So we're gonna have to... As you can see, these are the other sections of the dungeon that I just didn't bother going to. That top section we were already in. We've got a nice full mana bar as well, so I'm not going to pay attention here whatsoever. Just going to scoot through this as quickly as I can and get the hell out of here. Don't even care about the shots. I can manage to take a couple fairly easily, so I'm not going to cry about it. Let's try and sneak my way out. And this finally should allow us to exit. So there we go, Stronghold of William the Just. Thankfully we're now done, as you can tell, by the presence of the Heart of Darkness. We're just about to walk into another fight, so gather them all up, save if you need to, and get ready to face our old friend.
I found myself once more in the Nosgoth I knew. The carnage from battle was gone. Yet there was something amiss. From the distance, I heard cries, and a breeze from the south carried with it the faint odor of vampire blood.
Spoke slightly too soon. We've got a screen to walk through before we actually start the fight, but hey, there's a save point and some bonuses, what do you expect? As per usual, just follow this through. Thankfully there aren't any real enemies in this area. Couple of these fat guys, but hey, they're nothing. And the broken statue.
'Twould seem the folly fell upon my own shoulders. With their sainted King William dead by my hand, the people of the land were consumed by a hunger all their own, for vampire blood.
Basically, by going back in time, we've actually changed the future. It's not the same future as we originally came from. Yeah, a little bit confusing. But hey, get used to it, folks. It's the basis of all the games. Temporal mindfucks ahoy. And thankfully, since we're so close to the end of the game, it's pretty much a case of just walking through these guys. Don't even bother fighting them. Unless you really need blood or something.
As I wandered about more, the shrieking and cheering became more apparent and defined. There was some sort of gathering to the south, for with each cheer, I smelled an outpour of blood.
Pretty much just making our way back down to the original fortress that we came to straight after Otmar's.
I make no pretense to justify my killing, yet these vampire hunters would cloak their bloodlust beneath a veil of righteousness. Hypocrites! They would make themselves judge and jury. Very well then, let us see how they take to my role as executioner.
They really did give Simon Templeman some fantastic lines. Doesn't really matter where you come from, you can't help but kind of think Kain's a bit epic in all fairness. Self-confident little prick that he is. Just be a little bit careful of those flame guys. Their attacks are so fast they can quite easily corner you. As you can tell, they do shitloads of damage. Because it takes a couple of seconds for your attacks to actually hit. Well, not a couple of seconds, a couple of milliseconds. They can unfortunately corner you and do nasty things to you and poke you with fire and all kinds of evil. Right, there we go. A few more Heart of Darkness and into the keep we go.
Would you be free of the plague if only one city was cleansed? No! Would you spare one wolf in the pack that has devastated your herd? No! Then let us destroy them all! Yes! He is the last! Destroy him!
And so the fight with Moebius begins. Initially, you're just fighting the mobs that were present in the crowd, so these are easy enough to take care of.
Victus!
I did think at this point the game had glitched again, as it did a couple of times during this playthrough, but it actually just takes a little bit of time for him to kind of register that you killed everything. So yeah, basically, by killing William the Just, we've kind of averted the future where he becomes the Nemesis, but we've changed that future by allowing Moebius to basically stir his people up into having a purge on vampires. As we've just seen, we're now the last vampire. So we've been manipulated pretty much by
The Soul Reaver.
Moebius yet again. He makes a habit of this.
The people will not rest until Nosgoth is purged of your kind.
I had been betrayed. In my haste, I had not realized it before. That sigil on his forehead, the Oracle of Nosgoth, was in fact the time streamer Moebius, and I had followed his advice. How much of my quest was of his design? Willendorf? The Battle of the Last Stand? William the Just? Was this the trap he had fashioned for me?
We will send you back to the grave whence you came, vampire.
Obviously I needed to have bloody Soul Reaver equipped to finish off that battle. Bad programming there.
I have seen the future, Kain. You are not in it.
Back to doing the same damage as the original Iron friggin' Sword. My only complaint with this weapon.
Spiked mace.
Alright, let's take care of them. There'll be a few waves of kind of basic creeps. And then we'll actually get to fight Moebius, who is incredibly easy. Obviously can't reach him with anything. Nope.
Let us call upon the puppets from the past.
There we go. These three are pretty much the same guys that you fought in the cathedral, I think. These kind of holy warrior type guys. Certainly in the kind of heaven section, in the heaven and hell sections. These were the enemies you fought. No great checks. Kill them and move on. So we summoned up enemies from the past. You can guess what's going to happen next.
From the present.
Yeah, 4 hits and one of the waves is gone. Bit easy. But to be fair, the next point of the battle certainly isn't easy. At all, at all, at all. And after a couple of seconds he'll vanish and we'll be able to make our way south again to the final battle.
And from ages yet to
And look who it is. Kain from the future. Wow. This is going to be fun. I lied actually, it's not going to be fun, it's going to be a pain in the ass. Again, you can use exactly the same tactics as I should have used in the last battle, but considering the fact that I now don't have any bloody energy banks, I'm kind of screwed into doing this the old-fashioned way. But there's no harm in that, I guess. As you can see, pretty much every time you land a hit on him, unless you can manage to hit him mid-attack, in which case you might get 1 or 2 on him, he'll basically teleport behind you. And those axes attack quite fast, so do keep an eye on your health. Gonna have to be a little bit careful here. Thanks to that speedy axe he's got. Gonna be a little bit difficult. Unfortunately, you can't even just go toe to toe with him. He will absolutely own you. The speed of that damn thing is probably about twice what yours is, so you haven't got a chance. Also, it does additional damage, so no hope. Again, the best bet really is just to put your shield up, get your Soul Reaver up, drop an energy bank and wheel on him with the Soul Reaver. Yeah, I managed to get myself cornered there. Not much I could do. I'll need a couple more hearts as well. This battle sure as hell ain't over yet.
The sword.
I did consider they're changing over weapons, but since I've got no bloody mana bar. As much as I don't like the combat in the game, I think really one of the big improvements they could have made is making these end battles not so mana reliant. Which they just utterly are. You can absolutely cheese them just by using the shield and the Soul Reaver, provided you've got enough mana. Finish the last part of the game with about 6 energy banks. That's all you need. Fortunately, I use them for moving through areas a bit quicker. With hindsight, I probably shouldn't have done so. Screwed myself over a little bit at this point. But hey, we'll take him down. Just take a little bit more time. Try and switch armor out, see if I can actually take a little bit less, well, not damage, but every time I get hit it'll use up a little bit of mana, so I'll try and hold on to what I can. See if we can get a couple of spells off on the regen. Because at the minute, even though it's regenerating in the background every time he hits us, it's draining off again, which isn't great. I think we're probably going to have to avoid him until we can get that shield up. Just swing for him a time or two as and when I can. Nope. Come on. As you can hear by the frantic button clicking in the background, I'm desperately at this point trying to get the shield up. There we go. Fine. And he's stuck on a wall or something, fair enough. Come here, you little pig, and let me just hit you. And there he goes, finally. Let's see what... And finally we get to get our hands on Moebius himself, who is an absolute pussycat. Couple of hits and down he goes.
Ironic. By going back in time and altering the past, you turned William the Just into the Nemesis.
Aye, you have seen my plan, vampire, as I've seen your destiny. The future says you die.
But I am dead. As are you.
Moebius finally dead. This is a good thing.
I knew that Moebius's hourglass was the focus of his time-streaming magic. Farewell, sorcerer. The sands of time have ceased to flow for you.
And with that, we can make our way back to the pillars, drop off a few items, and see which of the circle we're going to go for next.
Chaos armor. Flesh armor.
We'll go with flesh armor, purely because I know the next fight. Right. You can go with spectral armor. I'm not sure whether I actually want to or not. The mana kind of disappearing is a bit of a pain in the backside, so I'll probably just stick with this. And whenever you're ready, make your way into the center for another cutscene.
You betrayed us, Mortanius. You had Kain killed and turned him into a monster. You set him upon us.
It had to be. Nopraptor's insanity poisoned all of our minds. The Circle had failed in its sworn duties. It had to be destroyed.
Failed our duties? Idiot! The Circle exists for us. We don't exist for it. Our powers will save or damn Nosgoth at our whim. Stand with us, Mortanius, or die.
Then I shall die.
If the Circle is to be destroyed, you have to die as well, Necromancer. I admire your cunning, but you will not escape your fate.
Nay, I will embrace it. But my death will leave one more to take, Princeling. Finish me!
So the guy he's just killed is, of course, the one that escaped at Dark Eden. So we finally leveled the playing field there, and we just have to take down Mortanius, the Necromancer. First part of this fight is fairly easy. I went for that armor because I think it had something to do with undead, to be honest. I think you're probably better sticking with the spectral armor. A couple of these little buggers which we'll take care of. Let's get a couple of hits on Mortanius. He'll teleport once we've hit him a few times as well. Or not, as the case may be. Just be a little bit careful of those skeletons. As you can tell, they explode, which is why my health just went to piss. And if you make your way south again, there he is. I actually thought I'd killed the little bugger. Still not sure whether I've killed him or not, in all honesty. Nope. If there's skeletons popping up, he can't be dead. Just keep following him around the map. I think he's... Oh well, he's dead.
You thought yourself a king, when in fact you were a pawn. You have served me well, Kain.
I serve no one.
Indeed, such narrow vision. Don't you see? My silencing of Ariel and its calculated repercussions is but the first act in my theater of Grand Guignol, of which you are the tragic hero. Play on, little vampire. Play on.
Fay Victus!
Treachery, treachery, and more treachery.
Anacroth's magic was contained within the metal of the scales and would eventually be released back into the pillar from whence it came. The scales of Anacroth I lay before the Pillar of States. The pillar accepted its offering. Thus, it was restored. The death orb of Mortanius had given the necromancer dominion over the grave. I had thought him the last of the circle, and yet he spoke of another. Before the Pillar of Death, I lay the orb of Mortanius. The pillar accepted its offering. Thus, it was restored.
Fay Victus!
So yeah, Anacroth was the other guy, just... I couldn't remember his name whenever I was actually doing this.
Fay Victus! Fay Victus!
The whole speech thing there probably would have been better before this final battle. But hey, he takes what we're given. Guy's pretty easy. He jumps up out of the ground. You hit him a few times and he vanishes. If you're anywhere in front of him whenever he does either, you'll get hit, as you can tell. Other than that, really, it's a no-brainer of a fight. And even easier by that shield. Again, Soul Reaver, shield, and energy banks are pretty much your best friend in these fights. Once again, it can be used for this and the Mortanius fight that we've just done. Although the Mortanius one's pretty easy in all fairness. This guy at least has a little bit of a health bar to him. These demons will turn up again, time and time again in the games. They kind of try and control things from behind the scenes. So it's right and proper that we should have to deal with one now before cleansing the circle. And down he goes.
I am the last pillar. The only survivor of the Circle of Nine. At my whim, the world will be healed or damned. At my whim.
And at that point it's over to you. On the left side of the screen you can click to view the damned ending. On the right you can click to see the saved ending. So I'll leave that up to you. For reference, the future games in the series will take the damned ending as being the one you've chosen. But, just for the fun of it, I'm going to let you choose. I've been Keric the Pally. This has been Legacy of Kain Blood Omen. You have a good evening.